Here, wait. Let's get that. Can you say that again? Are you recording?
Yeah, I am now.
Superhero films, the bubble burst with Age of Ultron. Because you thought it was going to be awesome with all those trailers, pictures, and everything. It was going to be awesome. And then you went into the theater, paid your $40, and then you realized they were phoning it in. Yeah, it's okay. You know what? I've got a great idea. I'll use this alien intelligence and take over the world. So the Avengers usually create the problems that they fix. So technically, they're not really heroes. They're kind of the janitors of their own problems.
Yeah,
Sorry
you're
about
right.
that nuclear spill.
Especially with Iron Man, the way Iron Man created the first bad guy with the first suit, and then the other one was the...
Yeah, it turns out that they're actually more proactive about creating supervillains than DC. It's like, man, everything is cool. Not to worry, I'll work on my billion dollar spacesuit. No, I'll just cause all this trouble.
That new Batman versus Superman. That was it kind of felt like a Twilight movie, to tell you the truth. There's a whole lot of brooding, really emotional movie. I felt like Adele should have been the soundtrack to that movie.
I think the problem is that when you try to make something realistic, at a certain point, it's the uncanny valley for superhero films, because you can make it as realistic as possible, but at the end of the day, these are guys in underwear flying around. And it's like, I'm going to be grim and brooding, even though I'm a millionaire. I have all this power, and I'm just miserable.
So have you seen Batman, Superman?
No, but I've heard a lot about it, and actually I learned more from my friends' reviews about it, because when you start using movie critic lingo on a film you were previously like, yeah, I'm amped, and it's kind of like, they had moving vision, but it didn't work. When you start talking about that, then you're in trouble. And from what I heard, the first hour was a whole load of suck.
Oh, it was rough. I saw it. I walked away from it as an even bigger fan of Wonder Woman, I'm admitting, because she was the most proactive character in the whole movie. Anytime she was on screen, she was doing something very definitive, very decisive. The others were just kind of a whole lot of whining, and it was just one big therapy session.
From what everyone told me, it's like a setup movie, and because the first Captain America movie, the first Avenger, it's not that good of a movie. I mean, the second Captain America movie is pretty good, but the first one's, I don't want to say it's by the numbers, but it's a setup movie, and you can tell.
Yeah. I've seen it a few times, and I like it more like the third time I've seen it. When I first saw it, I actually didn't like it at all, but now I kind of like it.
Yeah.
But I had to watch it a few times.
Now, I actually love really bad superhero movies. Bad, terrible, like the executives were on coke when they came up with the idea. They did Hanna-Barbera in the 70s. They did the Super Friends, and I guess someone came up with a great idea. I'm like, let's take our property, DC property, of the Super Friends, and combine it with Carol Burnett show kind of stuff. And it was called Legend of the Super Friends. And it was like the most, and they were only aired twice, because the guys who did it were like, this is going to be great. This is going to write our check. And if you watch it, and you'll see it's incredibly politically incorrect now. They had a superhero fry, a celebrity fry. Mm-hmm. They somehow got Ed McMahon on this, and they had all these superheroes, and they're frying Ghetto Man. And
oh no!
And it's pretty bad, and it's like bad, and they have a laugh track, and it's 70s bad. And Hawkman was on there, and Ghetto Man's doing his shtick. He's like, "It's a good thing you're not in the inner city, because with them wings like that." And I'm like,
oh man.
But anyways, it's very bad in a 70s disco. The one good thing is you actually have Adam West and Burt Ward and the Riddler reprise their role from the 60s, but Adam West looks just like Batman, but you can tell Burt Ward's in his 40s now. He's got a little bit of a paunch, and he doesn't fit Robin's outfit too well. And
I need to see this.
it's incredible.
Is it on YouTube?
It's on YouTube. It's called Legend of the Super Friends, and it's like the other one, Fantastic Four. You know how Fantastic Four is almost like a cursed film production?
Mm-hmm. It is.
You mean every movie they make is bad, or is that what you're saying?
Well, what happened was the first version of it, and you got to feel bad for the actors. Sony was going to lose, or someone was going to lose the rights to the film. So they're like, hey, I've got a great idea. Let's make the Fantastic Four movie for $1 million, and we keep the copyright. Now, even $1 million in 1990, that's still a pretty cheap horror film, or superhero film, right? And they got Roger Corman to do it. And you feel bad for these actors because you can tell they were actually like really like, this is going to be my big break as Johnny Storm. And this is the kind of special effects they have. They're like Mr. Fantastic. They don't have any money to do any CGI, so they're doing this number. I'll take care of you. And then you cut to a medium shot of his hand going. And then a shot of, oh!
So when was this?
It was 1990, and it's oddly enough the best adaptation of the Fantastic Four.
Huh.
You can go on YouTube.
I don't think I ever saw that one.
It's pretty... Well, they did a version of Justice League, a pilot for Justice League, and it got the guy from MASH, the Charles Winchester III or whatever. Mm-hmm. He was playing Martian Manhunter. That's the most disturbing casting ever. My favorite is the Turkish superhero films. Turkey has no respect for copyright. And they have something, there was a superhero called Kilgek or something, and he's kind of like James Bond with a skeleton costume, and he starts off as a bad dude. It's got a lot of sexy women. It's very NPC, non-PC, and then he ends up becoming a hero in like 3 films. It's really disturbing. It's one of my favorites. I need to send you the picture. He's wearing a skull costume, and he's like killing people left and right, and then he's hooking up chicks, and I'm like, he's wearing a costume. This doesn't make any sense.
If Chris Farley was still alive, I would cast the Beverly Hills Ninja in every Marvel and DC movie, and he would save the day. He would.
Yeah. Be the final piece of the...
Yes.
I think the best way to get people worked up on these social media is say something like, man, I really like that new Amazing Spider-Man. Yeah, and just watch it, watch people get mad. Or I think, well, the funny thing is about all the Batman, Superman thing, have you noticed that there's actually like a blowback for all the negative energy? Like people are like, you are not a fan.
Yes.
And there are people really irate. I haven't seen the film, but I've seen all these people like really defensive. It's like, I don't want you ever to make fun of me. This film is awesome. And I'm like, dude, it's a superhero film. Dial it back a bit.
Yeah, it's blown up. The fanboy, nerd culture, geek culture, whatever you want to call it, as of a lot of the conventions in the Midwest, and the rise of superhero movies and televised series, the culture has blown up, and people are taking it real serious to the point that cosplay is a very serious thing. That's cool. Yeah. I'm not dissing it though. That's cool. But
I know what you mean.
So because it's blown up so much, and the producers know it, and the people that make the movies know it, the studio motion pictures, they want to do everything they can that twist it around, like Avengers Civil War, or now like there used to be the reason that there was a super villain was somebody awesome enough to fight a superhero. Well, now they're superheroes fighting superheroes.
Yeah.
And stuff. So they're going to just do everything. I think 10 years from now, maybe less, that they will have a DC movie where Batman and Superman get married.
Possibly. I mean, who knows? They might go all kinds of directions, really.
Yeah, but I think
Alternate universes, you
Yes.
know?
I think my favorite meme that's floating around there is a picture of Superman holding Batman, and it's called The Notebook or something. And I'm like, okay, that's funny. But I think another problem is, and it's probably with social media and comic book culture, is you can't simply say I liked the movie. You got to explain why you liked the movie. You can't remember when you were like, "Hey, Steve, I really like this hamburger. It was really good." In the discussion, now it's like, "I like this hamburger, but it could have been better." And now, when you say something sucks, you can't just say, "Hey, it sucked. I wasted 2 hours of my life." People have to define, and it's crossing over into social media. You can't.
Oh yeah.
People. I find myself doing that with some actors. Like, that person sucks sometimes, but he's okay in other.
We're all information junkies.
Yeah,
I think social media has a lot to do with it, with the seeing someone explain themselves or their criticism, and so like now that's kind of the standard. You can't just criticize something, you gotta back it up, like show that you thought about it.
Yeah, it's almost like you're a lawyer, and it's weird to say.
Everybody is their own attorney. I agree.
And it's kind of like, no, Steve, you can get the last word. There's a lot of that weird. Well,
the
okay,
last word.
Okay, I'll give you another example. This is kind of completely unrelated to comic books, but we'll throw it in. It's dick pics.
Gotta cut this part out. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it's people taking pictures of their junk. It just shows you how social media has changed. The idea of like taking a picture of my elbow and like, check this out. It's part of my anatomy. Oh yeah, and it's kind of changed how people interact. I mean,
oh yeah.
Well, a good example is that when you talk to people are pretty much, I've noticed that they're more to the point. Okay, I ain't talking, what is this?
Yes.
And
yes.
you've noticed that more people are down to the point. Like, okay, yeah, I don't want to, no pleasantries, to the point.